Katie Hunter from MMA UK. I'm here with Cameron Els. It's going to be a great interview, Cameron. I'm really sorry I'm a few minutes late. And for the state of me, I trained myself at lunchtime and I left plenty of time to get home and do this interview. But I stopped at Tesco. It's my fault. It's my bad karma for trying to buy wine on the way home. And when I came back out to my car, somebody had left their handbrake off and rolled down the hill and crashed into my car. So I couldn't move because it would have carried on crashing into me. And so I had to wait. She was on a sunbed. So it was a long time before I'd sorted it all out. But that is the reason for this. And that is the reason I'm late. So apologies.
I would have got in the car and then said that the car just hit me out of nowhere and I got whiplash.
I should have done that. Actually, she doesn't know she's in the sunbed shop. Yeah, let's chop off the beginning of this interview.
Yeah.
And I need to stop posting videos of training then as well.
Yeah. Keep on the low for now.
So anyway, back to you. Congratulations on your amazing win at Brave. How did that feel?
It felt good. Obviously, for me, I knew it was going to happen. I knew I was going to win, and I knew I was going to finish him, whether it be in the first round. I wouldn't have really picked. Like off the top of my head, I would have thought I maybe got a little bit longer. But then, if I actually sit back and think about all my wins, they always come in the first round, normally within the first minute. So, like as a betting man, I'd have to back myself and say round one knockout or submission. But like I say, with regards to Aiden and respect to Aiden, I thought he was going to be. He would have been a bit more of a challenge in the terms of probably kept away a bit more, but I don't know really. I only ever really saw it as one outcome, and that was me again letting everyone know that I'm the guy that people need to keep an eye on.
You spoke a bit about that on the night. Like you seemed a little bit disgruntled with kind of the way that you felt the kind of public perception was people expecting him to win. Would that be fair?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't really moan about the public. Like the public can only go off what the promoters put out there and the journalists put out there.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the root of the problem is, and it's becoming a common problem within the MMA world now as a whole, is that these promotions that are meant to be looking for talent and it just exposing talent are not really always doing that. What they're doing is they're trying to make the next perfect fighter fit for their company. And that's coming out the whole package. Like every promotion I pretty much see, they're trying to find their next Conor McGregor, and it's like you're never going to find the next Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor become successful as much as he did because he was unique and he come along and did what he did. The next person that becomes bigger than Conor McGregor will be themselves and be unique, and then everyone want to be like him.
Yeah.
So, in regards to like, I feel that I didn't get enough like shown, and the public's perception of me, that didn't really bother me too much. It's more that the MMA journalists leading up to the fight, like I didn't get much interview exposure. I had the odd one or two, and I just felt that if you're really an MMA journalist, then you should do your research and realize that I'm the bad motherfucker out of these two, and Aiden's got a challenge in his hand. It's Aiden's biggest fight. It weren't my biggest fight. Like as much as Aiden's good and whatnot, I've been in there with tougher people than Aiden. Like. So people, it's like the journalists annoy me more than anything.
Sorry about that.
Leading up to the fight, but then again, like the journalist seems to be. Well, I say that not so much the journalists as well. It's more like the Brave team, like their commentary team and stuff. Like they just had. Which is also, in a way, it's good for me that they just hyped him up so much to the point where it's like people see it as, oh my God, Cameron's just done the unthinkable. Like, nah, I haven't done the unthinkable. To you, yeah, it's just you look stupid now because you've hyped this kid up and I've just wiped him out in 59 seconds. Like, it's just, I think I'm just frustrated because I am a real fighter, like at heart, and everything I've ever done, I've had to work hard for. I don't take short corners. My debut fight, I fought Spencer Hewitt. He was a champion of UCMA. He had 9 wins, 3 losses at the time, and it was my debut. I had no management, so I was just a young kid who.
I was going to say, who let you accept that fight?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, that proves there that I'm a fighter, because once I believe in myself and I know what I'm capable of, that I don't care what the outside world they have no effect on my mindset. Like, my mindset is bulletproof. You cannot defeat my mindset. So I don't care if there's an army standing outside my house screaming, "You're going to lose every day." It does not affect me, and I could train in front of 1,000 people booing me. It does not affect me, because the stuff that I can control, that's all that matters. The stuff I can't control, I'm not bothered about. So I've always had that mindset. Like, I know, like, when I took that fight because I honestly believe 100,000% I'd beat Spencer Hewitt. I knew I had the tools to beat him, and I had the best fight camp ever. And the week of the fight, I had bad news. I lost a close friend to me, who died in the army. I also had a family member die. My girlfriend she had a miscarriage. I had a lot of stuff that week, and it just threw my mind completely off. I thought, "Oh, I'm tough. I'll just get through it." But I had so much going bad with me. I'd just come out of the army. It was like my head just went in it. It was the first time in my life I walked down to the cage. I didn't feel no adrenaline. 3 days before the day before the weigh-ins, I was in Liverpool getting drunk, and I drove back and then weighed in. Like, I was in a right messed up state, like, with everything going on. I was kind of like, just fuck my life, man. Like, I've been Afghan, I've done my shit, I've come out. I felt the army turned their backs on me a bit. Like, everything was just down and against me. And then I thought, "Oh, sorry, I'll fight, because that's all I know." And I went in there and I got beat. But I honestly can say, to that day, that wasn't the Cameron in that fight. Yeah. So when I lost, obviously to everyone else, it's just like, "Oh, he lost." Everyone knew, like, I was going to lose, and I kind of like just give up on MMA. I was just like, whatever, I'm done with it. And then after like 3 or 4 weeks, I was like, "What have I done, man?" I had a good hype behind me through my amateurs. And then I was like, "I'm not going out like this." And then I took a short notice fight, knocked the guy out in 55 seconds. He was 1-0. I was obviously 0-1 at the time. And then I get the call up to fight on Cage Warriors against Paddy Pimblett. And I was like, "Yes, give me him." And he was 5-0 at the time. So I was like 1-1. And everyone was there, and I was getting loads of shit like from like the Scousers, or like, "Oh, you're gonna get banged." And I was like, "Listen, I know what I'm gonna do to you, boy. Like, you're gonna see." And I remember getting an interview just before the fight from John Gooden, who's now the UFC commentator, and he asked me how I thought the fight was gonna go, and I told him word for word what I was gonna do to Paddy. And I literally said, "I'm going to come out, I'll throw a low leg kick. He won't like that. He'll try and tangle up with me once he feels the power of my hands. And then do not be surprised when I get him in my favourite choke, the Anaconda choke. Good night, Paddy Pimblett. Done in 1 minute." I said that, and he had it on print, obviously, because I give it to him. And I went out and done that. And then they were, "Oh, it's fluke. Oh, you're lucky. Everyone gets lucky." And I'm like, "It's not fluke. I knew what I was going to do." And there you go. And John Gooden like put it out there. It's like, nah, he literally said word for word what he's going to do. And then what happened then? Because it was Paddy Pimblett, and it was Cage Warriors Golden Boy, they didn't hit the fight for 2 years. They didn't release it. Like, goodbye. Like, shit, that wasn't meant to happen. Cameron's not with us, so we just leave him. And it's just a little slip up with doing. The hardest thing with finishing people quick is people think it's easy to go, "It's lucky."
Yeah.
But once you look back at my record, what, you're going to say I'm lucky 9 times?
Yeah. Well, Cameron, that's the same with Jorge Masvidal with his flying knee recently, isn't it? And then you actually see Mike Brown release the footage of him drilling that knee for...
Yeah, and it is... We do, like, literally, like, my setup with Aiden, we knew, like, the first thing, I don't really watch my opponents much. I really don't. With Aiden, I did. And the reason why I've started to watch my opponents more, because sometimes I do just go in there like, I'm just going to hurt this guy. I'm going to put him in a pool of blood of his own, and I'm going to break him. And sometimes, like, in my last 2 losses, things have happened. It's gone against me. But again, it's personally like you only Aiden done a podcast and I actually respect him a lot for it. And he talked about my last 2 losses, Damo Whedon and Ed Arthur. And he turned around and even he said, and it was nice to hear someone else say, he said, they're bollocks. The fight with Ed Arthur shouldn't have been stopped. Cam dominated the whole round. 3 seconds left. It was a bad call by the referee. Never was Cam in danger. And then the Damo Whedon was like, I don't know how Mark Godden 3 times in one round. Mark said he's going to stop the fight if you don't fight back. So I'm upping the pace, trying to put rapid punches in. And I'm like, well, you're going to stop it then? I've just hit him 16 times in the head with an elbow. Then he calls the doctor in. Like, why don't you stop the fight? Like, so those 2 fights against me, they shouldn't be losses. There should be wins. Or with the Ed, we had obviously more rounds to go. Damn it, Whedon, that should have been stopped in the first. And yeah, I was tired in the second. I've just 4 times in like 1 round. The ref said he's going to stop the fight. So I'm sprinting, going to the ref. Then the ref tells me, get up. And I'm like, okay, it's done. Oh, no, the doctor's in. I'm like, why are you calling the doctor in? He's grounded. Blood's on his eye. Then he doesn't restart me in a position where I've tracked his hand. It's just, there's just a lot of stuff that's gone against me that I can't control. And I got so angry with it. But, like, it is what it is. I'm back now. Like, I just feel like I don't ever get the respect I deserve. And I just feel like now we'll see what's going to happen with Brave. But again, they seem to have gone quiet.
So are you feeling with Brave, like, you might not get the same opportunity that Aiden would have got if Aiden won? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, well, again, like when they first contacted me, they first contacted me direct, and it was through a friend of mine, Shorty Torres, like a little brother to me. Obviously signed with them as well. He reached out to him and said, look, I've got my friend Cam, he's a really good fighter, he's from London. It'd be good to put him on the card. So Yusuf contacted me and said, are you still fighting at 135? And I was like, yeah, I want to be fighting at 35. I keep getting matched up at featherweight, and because no one will fight me at bantamweight. And I was like, well, what have you got? And he sent over Aiden James. I said, who else have you got at bantamweight? And what have you got at feather? Because he said, I've got featherweight as well. So, and he threw over Bubba Jenkins' name and obviously Aiden James. And then when I looked into Aiden James, I was like, hang on a minute. Aiden James is your boy. And he was like, well, yeah, he signed to Brave. I said, I know what you're doing here. I said, I don't really know if I'm down for fighting Aiden James, because if I end up getting screwed over by a referee again, then, or saying they go my way, or I knock out your boy, then I'm just it's gonna be like, fuck, that ain't meant to happen. I said, let me tell you something now. I said, give me another fighter at bantamweight. And they said to me, no, we're not having no more bantamweights on the card. It's just this. It's only Aiden. That's all you can have. So I said, do you know what? Give me Bubba Jenkins. I said, that's more of a bigger name. I'll go up a featherweight and I'll knock Bubba Jenkins out. And then I was waiting on to hear back from that. And then he replied saying, Bubba Jenkins. He said, are you any more thought on Aiden? I said, I want Bubba. And even that, Bubba Jenkins is now fighting the other guy. I didn't even know it was going to be for the title. That name was put to me, and I said, yeah, I'll fight him.
Yeah.
And then they told me, no, it's only Aiden James. So I sat there and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to knock him out. And I said to Yusuf, I said, I'll take that fight. I said, but I'm telling you now, I will knock your boy out. I said, and don't be fooled. I said, because I know what these promotions do. They're trying to like use me because they want Aiden to do well because they got him on a high thing. So I kind of knew I was coming. I was being brought in, and then I said to them, "Are you signing me? Is it just one fight?" And they were like, "No, it's just one fight, just one fight." And I was like, "Okay, I know exactly what you're doing here. You think you're going to bring me in and think Aiden's going to win? It's fine. I'll come and shock everyone again." And it was a couple of days later. Then they were asking me about my cornerman, and I said, "Cowboy." Cowboy was going to corner me. And they were like, "What, Donald Cowboy Cerrone?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not no fool, mate. Like, I train with the best, and if I've got people like that in my corner, that should speak enough."
Yeah.
Obviously, they were like hyped that Cowboy was coming, and then they also were like, "Oh, was you in the military?" I was like, "Yeah, I was in the paras." And they're like, "Oh, the Prince really loves the army. He was a paratrooper." And I said, "These are many reasons why you should be looking at me more of a brand and not just someone that you could bring in and hope your guy will win. And also, these should be enough alarm bells to ring to say this guy ain't no joke. And then he was like, well, regardless of the outcome, we want to sign you. Like, we're going to look to sign you. So would you? And I just said to him, look, straight up, I said, where's talk after? Let me knock this guy out, and then we'll talk. Because I want what he's going to get. I want the title shot. Like, and that. So I was like, I'm not going to agree to signing nothing now. I'm just going to wait. And that's what we did. I spoke to the manager. So we just took the one fight. And then they started putting all over Facebook, oh, Aiden wins this. He's got to get the title shot. Even they put up on their Instagram saying, with a win here, Aiden's getting the title shot. Aiden got told he's getting the title shot. Right. So for me to come in, I was like, sweet, I'm going to knock you out and I'll take that number one contender spot. And the thing is, it's not going to be one of those fights where I come in and it dragged out over 3 rounds and I won on decision. Because then I understand, I may need another fight. I'll come in and I'll show you how easy it is. And that was the plan. And I come in and I did that. And now it's
what's happened since then, Cameron? What have you heard from them since the big win?
Well, I haven't heard anything. It's been really weird. It's like my manager's reached out to them. They've turned around and said they had to wait until they got back to Bahrain to talk about contracts and get me signed and that. My manager was obviously like, look, obviously after Cam doing his traditional stuff, surely like you're going to want to sign him. And they just said, they're going to get back to him. My manager said also like he's had other people contact him. The UFC are floating around an opportunity there. But obviously, I personally would love to stay and fight and take the title from Brave and then down the line look to progress over to the UFC. But of course, if the UFC is saying no, come now, then I'm just going to pack my bags and go because I know I'll make big money there. So basically.
What about if Brave offer you another fight? Is there any other fight you'd accept other than the title shot?
Do you know what? Like when I was having a look at the fighters, like who would be a good fight, and then I thought, do you know what? Give me the guy that just last fought him, which is Ilife, or something like that, Brazilian.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it either.
I watched him fight him, and he was the last person to fight him, and he was losing that fight. The champ was losing, and he caught him and whatnot, and he ended up beating him. But I looked at both of them when I was watching that, and I was like, I'll knock out both of these. So I'd fight him. So I was like, give me that guy because I'll knock him out, and I'll make it easy. And then the sniper, he calls himself.
Yeah.
Then he'll have to fight me. But for me, it's just frustrating for me because I'm just like, what more do you want me to do? Like, what do I have to do? Like, just give me what I deserve, and I deserve that title shot. Like that champ ain't fought in how many months since you fought the Brazilian? So you're sitting around, you're doing nothing. You're saying that Aiden was the number one contender, and I just knocked him out cold. Like that puts me there. So I spoke to Yusuf myself and just like, what's happening? You got to give me this fight. And he was like, I never said you was going to get that fight. He said, like, I think one fight for you. I need to get you another fight before fighting for the title. And I was just like, hang on a minute. I said, you've had people like Franz Mambola, whatever his name is. Yeah. He's fought for the title twice. When he fought for the title when he was like 3-2. Like, don't try and play politics now. Like, just understand that I'm on a good win streak. I fought always high competition. I've had a couple of skids on my record. That's only because no other fucker would fight me.
Yeah.
They're getting pullouts. And I was like, well, I'll just fight him because manager's like, just fight him. Just get it in, done. And I hate doing that. That's why if you look at all my Instagram, I never promote the fights which are those type of fights. It's like, whatever, man. But, so I just said, and he was like, I think it's very unlikely that you're going to get it'd be hard for me to make the title shot. I'm like, it's not hard for you to do that.
Yeah.
It's not. You just do it. You just I said I'll go to the Philippines and I'll fight the champ there. Or we can bring it back to London and we can open it up and open to the public and we'll sell out the copper box. 100% we'll sell out the copper.
How weird was it? Sorry to jump in and change the subject slightly, just for 1 second. How weird was it for you fighting in that environment? Was it odd not to have?
I loved it, to be
Did
honest.
you?
I
Okay.
feel like it's opened up a part of my game which I needed to get to, and now I've established it and got to it. I'm now going to be a lot better fighting in big crowd.
Wow.
Like honestly, I
That's
think
interesting.
it was perfect. Like it really brought out the gym environment, so it
Yeah.
really kept me relaxed. So I'm not even joking. By the time I got into the cage, if you took my heart rate, it was probably still resting at around 50.
Wow.
Like it weren't boom, boom, boom. It weren't like I was just so calm and collective, and it was just like I knew what I had to do. I could think straight. I like coming out, and I knew what Aiden does well. Like a lot of people don't hit Aiden. He's got very good lateral movement. His head
Yeah.
movement's good. But then I noticed why, because he's southpaw, and what Aiden likes to do when he's southpaw, he dips his head to outside, which most southpaws don't. They always dip inside. Same with an orthodox, you dip inside. So they're always normally dipping to that power hand, but Aiden obviously wants to keep on the outside of it. But the reason why Aiden could always get his body to that outside is because they didn't get close enough to beat him on the outside foot. So if you look at the replay, you'll see me throw my first overhand and he ducks out of the way. So now I calculate, right, remember what my coach turned around and said, I want you to throw a kick, and then when you throw your jab or your kick, plant your foot on the outside, so then he can't lean into it because he feels shadowed off, which keeps him on the centre line, which obviously the shot was right there. So it was pretty simple. But it was just, for Aiden, it was beating that outside foot. And then also Aiden likes to switch a lot. So when he was going to switch, if he switched on me, I was going to switch with him because I fight both sides. So when other people have fought Aiden switches. The moment Aiden switches, he's out of range because they stay in this orthodox. So what he does very well is switch, and then he shoot off the switch. So the people can never really get settled. But I was always attacking the outside of his leg and making sure, as long as I'm on the outside of his legs, I could batter his legs. So I had him covered. Like it's a shame I didn't get to do more in the fight because I was so relaxed and it was just so simple for me. But it just went really smooth, and obviously I'm not going to argue with it.
How much of the win do you credit to that game plan then? Because it sounds like you had his game pretty sussed out.
Yeah, well, I coach fighters. I've coached the UFC light heavyweight Tyson Pedro in the UFC. Done his game plan against OSP and a couple of others. I've helped him before with game plans and ways in on fights, but I haven't been able to corner him for my own reasons. But then I managed to. So I've been dealing with a lot of other UFC fighters like Joby Sanchez. I've been working with Joby Sanchez since I've been going out to America. So he was actually with the UFC, then got released because he was young, and then I worked with him all the way back, and I got him worked with him to the point where he got back to the UFC. So what I used to do then, I study fighters really well. So I I'm not like overthinking it, but I'm very confident in my coaching ability and how I take part of the fight game. And I honestly believe that in the future, how I look to get my fighters to fight is the evolution of the sport. And I see it as how I'm looking now is how the guys are going to all be fighting in 5 years' time. So I just feel I'm a bit more advanced with how to, like, I look at it like, what is the elite fighter? How does someone become the elite level, like the Mayweather of MMA? And I believe the way I'm looking at it is going to take it to that level. So from doing so much studying, and I spent a lot of time where I weren't getting fights and breaking down fights for other guys at high level, it come to the point when now I was fighting, I was like, you know, I'm going to actually sit them right down and break down my opponent. And then if I can actually strategically break it down and put it in my head, then when I go in here, it keep me more calm to the point where I can know what I got to do. Because once I see it and I can feel it, I literally am it, and it's just so simple. So I'm not even joking. When I was in there, it was literally like, yeah, he's gonna do that. Bang. Okay, he did. And I think you see after throw the overhand, I nod like, yeah, I got this. And I like storm forward and then done. Like it was just there. So it's definitely something now I look to pick apart all my opponents like that, and just it's not a fight no more. At this level, it's not a fight. It's a game. Chess. There's a big difference. People say it's fighting. It's not fighting. This is elite level. GSP dominated through game planning, not because he was the best fighter, but he had the best game plan and how to stick to it and keep danger.
So how quickly can you turn that around? Because say you've got a last minute change of opponent, would you still accept a fight like that? How long does it take you to go through a fighter's fights and pick them apart like that?
To be honest, obviously that's a really good question because I've not actually been in that situation now with having this thought process. I've often taken fights on short notice, but I think like again, like when I fought Dylan Took on Bellator, that was literally 4 or 5 days notice, and that was the weight above. But I'd watched Dylan fight before, and I've always I studied him, and I knew I was like, if I get a fight with him, I'm knocking him out clean because he did it. So the thing with Dylan doesn't move his head. He's very straight punches. So there's no point doing straight punches back on Dylan. The aim and the game plan work. Duck my head and throw the looping hooks that come around the side because his head don't move. So I knew that. So as soon as they rung me up, I didn't even expect it. I literally just pulled up on my drive, Jude, Dylan too. I was like, yes. And he was like, it's going to be at the way above. I was like, yeah, it's not a problem. I'll be there when next week. Yeah, I'm there. Because I visualized it that much fighting him before. And with all different guys, and I'm watching all of these guys, and I'm like, I can beat you, man. And if I got that feeling inside me, and I watch and I pick them apart, I swear down, I don't just see it, I literally feel it, and I feel myself in there, winning my victory, my hand being raised, and I know what it's going to be like, and I'm kind of like manifesting that feeling and actually really understand that emotion, and then I know I got it. So again, it's depending on the opponent. Yeah, I honestly believe that I didn't even realize how much. So I read the book The Secret not so long ago, and I didn't realize how much of that I do, like in everyday life. I don't let things go. I'm very one of them that will. Something pisses me off, for example, right there and then to get away with it. I'll go away and I'll think about it, and then I'll sit there. I'm very passive aggressive in short terms. So, and I think that manifests over into my fight plan and everything. I sit there and I think I can beat you, and I go away and I think, and I try and look at all their points. And then another thing that I do with opponents, the first thing I do, I sit there and think, if I was your cornerman, how would I beat you? And then I'll say, right, he's got to beat me here and there. So then I'll make sure I've got to change them bits, because if they're watching that bit and they pick that up like I would pick it up, then by the time they come to the fight, nah, that's not happening, because I've already been in your brain and I've already seen my mirror. So on the turnaround,
like chess. You're a few moves ahead.
Yeah, I've got to be. You've got to be. So I don't know. It depends on the opponent and who they switch that up with. I think I think the biggest calls are. I honestly believe in bantamweight. I'll stand with any bantamweight because I know I've got the power in my hands to knock out any bantamweight. I knock out featherweights and I put lightweights on their ass in the gym. So I know I can do that. And so if the guy's a striker, I wouldn't be phased, because I also know, and like what I was known for is my jiu-jitsu. Like nobody would want to go to the floor with me because I cut them within about 10 seconds, and any person that shot on me, I've ended up submitting or beating on the floor. So I know I've got a very aggressive ground game, and so I've always got that option where I can take it there, and I know I'm tough enough to break people's stand up. So if I got switched out a last minute opponent and I was fighting a, say, collegiate wrestler, then I would be a bit more right. Okay, let's have a little look. But still, a good jiu-jitsu guy for me counts as a good wrestler. Like I've already had that where I've worked with my fighter Joby, who was fighting a really good high-level wrestler. Mm-hmm. So I was like, listen, you are going to get taken down. Let's not pretend. So, but we're going to give them the takedown when we want it, so we can roll it. And as long as we position our feet correct on the takedown, then we'll end up with a sweep. So like that way. So I think I'm in the fight game, and I've done so much coaching now. I kind of like can pick out people and go, right, I know how to beat that style. So honestly, for now, I'm just gonna literally fly up. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to do big things. I know if I got signed to the UFC today, I'd want I would want to fight Cody No Love straight away.
How far away do you think that call from the UFC is, Cameron?
Honestly, I think it could be tomorrow. It's one of them. I think if they actually just looked at me and looked at my record, looked at what I bring, I'm an army vet. I bring a lot where you can brand me well, and not only that, I finish fights. Like, what do you want? Like, you want people to come in and knock people out. You want people to speak the truth off their tongue, and you want people to call out these idiots. And it's the whole thing. And I get the whole package, and I honestly believe I am the whole package. And the difference is I can back it up. I can fight. So
why do you think you haven't had the media attention that you think you deserve when you, like you say, you've got an incredible story. Thank you for your service, by the way, as well. Like, I love that you wear your beret in the octagon at the end and like represent still. And you know, you do have a great story. The picture of your daughter on your Instagram with you that's just like gorgeous. You've got a great story. Why do you think it hasn't happened yet?
I honestly think it's because where I was overlooked, and if you think about it, my first fight I lost to the champ. The second fight I won, and then they brought me in and they wanted me to foul against Paddy, and I beat Paddy. So then they were like, "Right, let's hide him because I was managed at that time, so they couldn't manage me. So then they kept me there. So then it's like, let's hype Paddy up, and then it quickly become like, oh, we can use Cameron because Cameron trains well to try and step on him and like use him as a stepping ladder, which obviously always proved wrong to everyone. But I just think that they're like, again, it's the promotions. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter about talent no more. And that's the saddest thing that upsets me most is that's one of the reasons why I started my own promotion is to expose talent and give people the floor to perform because they're talents, not because they talk or they're part of SBG. Like, let's be real here. There's so many people. James Gallagher, he's a fraud. Dylan Toot, fraud. There's a guy called Mike Kemble. Bellator's got the biggest fraudsters in it. Like, these are not legit guys, and they're trying to mimic the next Conor McGregor. They're trying to make their money there. They're trying to hand make a fighter, but reality is, it's the fight game. You can only get away with it for so long. Happened to James Gallagher. You fed him all these bums. Look at James Gallagher's record. Fed him all these bums. Then it got to a point where you have to put him against a legit opponent. Then he gets knocked out. Like, you can't make a fighter. A fighter is a fighter. And I feel like I got hidden because I'm at the level I should be fighting on the top shows. So they put me there and they've put me against their business plan. And then I fuck up the idea. But I've invested too much money and time and effort into him. So then they go, we could just stay as a little bleep and we're building back up. Let's try again with him.
It's got to be pretty satisfying, though, to keep upsetting the apple cart, surely. It's got to be pretty satisfying.
It does. But then also, there's got to come a time, like, so the one thing is, I know my self-worth. And the one thing I've learned in life, and one thing I teach my kids, never sell short on your self-worth. Because once you've done that, people will always take the piss out of you. So it's got to the point now, someone asked me the other day and said, what if you got given another prospect? I was just like, I'll probably tell her to fuck off. Because I'm done with it. Stop doing that. Like what would you want me to do it again? Knock him out? Are you then going to give me the title shot? I honestly believe Brave were different. And I still got that much hope now left in Brave. To the point where I'm like, you say you just want to put on real fights and give real fights opportunities. You didn't have they all probably offered that fight for Aiden James to a few other people and they didn't want to take it.
Yeah.
I did it. I stepped up. I performed. I trained well. I treated it professionally. I was the first knockout of the night, the best knockout of the night. Like, come on, like let's. I hope Brave stick to their guns and go, do you know what? Give him what he deserves. Just give him the platform. Put a bit of light behind him. Like, you can only take so much, and it makes. I actually had a dream there last night, and it's weird as hell. And this is really weird, right? That Brave shut me out, and I wrote a retirement letter. And it was really weird because I've got no fault of retiring. But I wrote a retirement letter to my fans to say that I'm done with it because I can't I can't get past these promotions to get my acknowledgement to the UFC.
You would never
Because they
do that, would you, Cameron?
No, I wouldn't. But so I wrote this letter in my dream, and it was like, I've done everything you've asked for. Like Dana White, you want someone like me. Like I like Dana. I like the UFC. I'm patriotic. I'm a veteran. I fought for the US Army because I fought alongside them for the same purpose. And it was like I've knocked out every time they've run me. I've said yes, okay, I'll fight, and I've delivered. I've had 2 decisions gone against me. I stepped up again. I went through real bad depression last year. Savage. Like I hit rock bottom. And I've managed to turn it around in 4 months because of obviously people around me as well, and also my mind state. And I wrote all this in a letter, in an open letter, and I was just like, now Brave are turning their backs on me and they're saying, oh, fight this person, fight this. No, I'm done. I'm not being used as a guinea pig anymore. I'm sorry, but the MMA world clearly just don't want me to perform unless I'm going to be fighting and give the opportunity that I deserve. I'm done. I'm out. And then Dana White ended up, the letter went viral, and Dana White got the letter and was like, why is this guy not being here? Why is his promotion shut out on him? I want this guy. Get this guy. He's signed. And then I was signed to the UFC, and it was like, fuck. And I woke up and I actually laid there for a bit, and I was like, oh shit, this is a fucking dream. Like,
Oh no.
but yeah, so I was like, might just write a letter. Yeah, but I'm not going to. I'm just like, I know my self-worth now. Just like I've had enough. I just hope Brave realise. And I said to that Yusuf, I said, listen, you can do whatever you want, but you know what I deserve. You know that you can make that. If you can make Aiden fight for the title, you can make me fight for the title. Who's going to argue? Apparently, just all the sniper and all his little family, like, oh yeah, you've only had one fight. Mate, I've knocked out my last 5 opponents. You, sniper, you go to decisions. And the only time the 2 times the sniper's lost, he's been hit clean and knocked out. So I know why he's worried. I know why he's scared, because he knows I'm going to hit him. And he knows that when I hit people, they don't move. So I get it. Like, but you're a champ, mate. You don't dictate. Like when I'm the champion, just send me the contract. Don't tell me the name. Yeah, that's a true champion. I always turn around and say, Cowboy Cerrone is by far, and I'm not just saying this because he's one of my best mates, he is by far the best martial artist in the world. And I tell people why, and they go, how? He's lost, and he's never won UFC gold. I tell you what, if Cowboy done what every other fighter done, oh no, I'll wait my turn for the title. No, well, he shouldn't be fighting. I should be number 1 contender. No, Cowboy literally has been there and gone, yeah. That's a champion.
Yeah.
Always said yes, or never ever has he turned around and said no. I've been in the car with him. I was in the car with him when he accepted the fight for Darren Till. And the funny thing is, he was actually coming to stay at mine that weekend and come to my show and that, and basically was going to do a tour of Europe and do we was doing the BMF seminar. So it's going to be me, Cowboy.
I did one of those in Gravesend in Kent.
Yeah, you come to it. Yeah, so that was obviously set up through me, and so Cowboys coming over, and then we're in the truck, and we was actually going. I think we was going to Colorado to see his family, and the UFC rang him, and he was like, literally on the phone. They're like, "Oh, do you want to fight on this day?" And he went, "Yeah," and they went, "Be main event in Poland." And he went, "Yeah, cool. Send the contracts." And I was like, hang on a minute, that's my date. Like, you want to come on my show? But obviously, I was like mucking around. I was like, and they were like, they literally on the phone to him, and they're like, do you want to know your opponent? And he's like, nah, just send a contract. So, like, it's 5 round at welterweight. And I was thinking, fucking like, find out. And he was like, who? And they went, Darren Till. And he was like, yeah, I don't know that guy. And that's because Cowboy don't watch the UFC. He doesn't watch it. So he was just like, yeah. And I was like, fuck, Darren Till's a monster. Like, he's big. And I'm sitting there like, you're mad. Like, thinking, fucking, I love this attitude. He's like, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, I'll be there. And that's always been him. And that's why, for me, I take so much fucking pride and so much from him, inspiration, because that's a champion. A gold belt don't make you a champion nowadays, because the way all these UFC fighters bitch. I'm not fighting him. He's not next in line. Or I'm fighting. No, you fight, you get given. People forget. You don't. One thing I always got taught as a kid: never bite the hand that feeds you. And that's what Conor McGregor's done. The UFC made you, bro. They made you. They helped you on your run. They offered you 3 or 4 opponents at a time for you to pick your opponent to help you because they knew where you were going. Now you get to the top and you're trying to buy shares from UFC and say, I want in. But who the fuck are you, bro? Do your job. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Understand when the UFC ring you, you're the champ. Don't even just send contracts.
Yeah.
And that's my mentality. And I think also because I think that's one of the reasons why I've become so close with Cowboy because we got the same mentality. And I have. And I feel like I'm going to, the way I see my vision, I know I'm going to the UFC. When I get there, I'll be known as the kid. Fight anyone, anytime, any weight. Like, Cam's ready to go. Like, that's my mentality. I bring the fight and knock people out. And I know with that mentality, I'm going to be a winner at life. My fan base is going to love it. And I just look and think, I'm going to do everything the Cowboy said to do. And that's what he said.
I can genuinely see you there as well. I can genuinely see you yelling this kind of thing down the microphone in the middle of the UFC octagon.
Man, honestly, I get so wrapped up in my visualization where I'm in the car and I think about it continuously. And before I go to bed, I've already done it so many times. And I'm just like, once I'm in the UFC, the floor is mine and it's going to change. Like, I'm not going to be that big. Oh, Conor McGregor. Fuck Conor McGregor. I'll become the money fight. I'll be the new era coming through. I'll be the money fight. Because I'll fight at bantamweight, featherweight, and I'll go up to lightweight if the UFC need me. Because that's a real fighter. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Like, weight's there. Like, understandable. Like, USADA wouldn't, or like the commission wouldn't let me fight at heavyweight. I get that. But don't ever be fooled and think I'd be the one that says no, because I'd never say no. Never.
I'm conscious that you've got to rush off to training, so I just wanted to touch on one thing that you said a few minutes ago about having depression last year. It's such a massive issue in this sport. Like, the highs are so high, but the lows are so low, and I just wondered, like, you know, what that was like for you and how you pulled yourself out of it.
Do you know what, right? Obviously, to sum it up shortly, because it's something that I want to like do on a podcast properly and really talk about it and talk about my whole experience, because I do want people to know that even though I am this tough guy and I've got this strong mentality, but even I struggled. Like, I'm not like invincible. Yeah, I got through it and I have got through it and I've come out the other side and I've seen the light. But I'm not kidding you. I was at the point where I tried to commit suicide. I wanted out of this life because I had nowhere to go. And it was a few months ago. It was before Christmas, like last year. But it was at a time where it was built up over the years. Like me, through my childhood, to my army, to like losing friends, to coming back. Other big events happened in my life and it just all caught up with me. And I kind of felt like I was living a fake life. And I was trying to like hide my demons and I would do things a bit out of character and I never really knew the answers. But I've seen the light now and I've really come through on it. And I believe that now I'm so glad it happened to me. I would never change it. I'm glad it happened to me because now I've answered my problems. I basically see someone every week. I speak to this lady every week. And even though now, like, I'm in a completely great place, I still go and see her. And I said, I wanted to carry on seeing her because I
counselling that helped you to work through it.
Yeah, it definitely helped me to work through it. But to be honest, I hit a wall, boom, and I was ready just to go. So it took me to that point where I wanted to, but like, as much as you want to go, you don't actually want to die, but you just want to stop this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know why you do the things you do, so you want to stop shit. But so it took me to that point where then I had to go get help and actually go and speak to someone. But it was hard to get help. Like it just seemed like I couldn't even get it. I was doing the phone calls and they're telling me, no, you need longer waiting list and stuff. And then I started seeing her, and then I actually went back out to America in February, and I didn't train at all. I just went out to America because I wanted to try and be in a happy place, be away from the situation I was in, and I just really wanted to be around the positive people because when I'm in America, they're all like me, and it's like They just helped me, and then what happened was I started reading a book out there, and that book really started to get into my head and go, "This is you, Cam. You know this shit." And then I read that. It was a book by Gary Bishop called "Unfuck Yourself," and it's fucking brilliant. And I read that, and I was so wowed by it. Where I was highlighting it, and then it really taught me on how to understand that an emotional feeling, you feel emotion, but you don't have to act on it. You have to acknowledge it, understand what's caused it, put it in a box and move it. And it's okay saying it like that, because when I was like, fucking, you put it in a box and whatnot, like what? But now I do it all the time. And I went from that book to The Secret, and now I'm back on Gary Bishop's second book, but reading, but not just reading, actually taking from the book. And the thing what Gary Bishop does really well, he tells you, don't just read my book, agree to it, put it down, leave it, read my book, then go and actually do what you're doing and put it into your life. So I started doing that, and yeah, I'd say like reading and then just getting it all off your chest. It is hard and it takes a bit of time, but you get through it. But yeah, there's something else that I think maybe like I'll do another podcast or whatnot, and we can really go into.
I'd love to talk to you for longer about it. I do know you've got to rush off to training, but it's such a huge issue in this sport and in general, and it's very inspiring for people to hear someone who they think has got the perfect life and they think has got it all, admit that they felt like that and work through it and come out the other side, and also that it's a work in progress.
It is. But one thing that always stuck out to me is like what my brother said, because my brother had been through it. We had quite a hard upbringing, me and my brother. So he went through it a lot worse than me. Like he had a lot of harder time. But when I started going through it, he started telling me that there's a light, like you'll get to it, and once you do, I swear down, it's just a breath of fresh air. And I used to be like, "Fuck this, where's this light, man?" Shit. But then the light come, and now I'm like, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for the process, because now I get to work on what I needed to work on, and my life, my family life. I'm actually in a really happy place, and now I just feel like I've got a new purpose to fight for, and like everything's good and it's heading in the right direction. I just hope now, for me now, in terms of my fighting, I want to be in the UFC. I know I'm ready for the UFC, so I just want the MMA journalists and stuff now to really push it out there and not hide me. Like I think hopefully Brave won't, but we'll see. I need to stay active. I would fight every month. Like I wanted to get 2 more fights in before Christmas. I wanted to fight September, fight November. October I'll fight, and then Christmas I'll fight. I'll take the fight on Brave. I know I'll win the title. I wanted to win the title, defend the title, and then fight Bubba and take his title. But do you know what I mean? I don't get what more you want. You want a champion that can talk and do it all one fight and not hide. You got it.
Well, congratulations on the big win over Aiden James. I really hope that you get your title shot. I'd love to see you fight for both weights, the title for both weights, before you move to the UFC. But I definitely believe you're going to be there as well, and I'm looking forward to it. I saw on your Instagram that you'd like to fight on the same card as Tyson Pedro. So
100%, he's my boy. Like he's great. That guy, he's another level. That guy is just so much positivity. You have to have Tyson in your life. Like he doesn't. Like we bounce off each other well, and he was military. So like the first time I met Tyson, I was in Albuquerque, and he come in the gym. And I was like, who's this big Samoan-looking dude? And then he come over to me and was like, are you that guy on that poster around there, the Paras? I was like, yeah. He was like, fancy a beer? I was like, fuck yeah. So we went out, we had a few beers now, and we got drunk, and like that, we just clicked, and now we're like brothers. Been like good friends for a while, and obviously I've cornered him and stuff and helped him in training, and I actually wrote a game plan for Mark Hunt as well, which people don't know about. So I've done a lot, man. So I know I've put too much into it, and I've always said I'm gonna achieve greatness in something. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be something. I know I'm destined for it, and now I fully understand and believe that it's the UFC, and I think once I'm in there, there'll be a new era, and just don't be surprised when I'm everywhere.
Well, your time is definitely coming, Cameron. I'm aboard the train. So I look forward to hearing what's coming next for you. I'll be looking out for it, and I'll certainly be doing my bit to get your name out there and to get you the praise and the props that you deserve. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully hearing fight news from you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, then. Thank you very much.
Keep in touch, and sorry if I've made you late for training.
That's right. As long as I can get there for the sparring, so I'll be there. No worries. Thank you. Thank you for your
Cheers,
time.
Cameron.
See you later.